Hey everybody, I'm Vasel, and today we're going to be starting a series that I'm going to do maybe on a weekly basis, maybe a little less than that. We'll see as time goes by. My great Greek adventure as I play through Aeon Trespass Odyssey. Now, Aeon Trespass Odyssey is a gigantic game that's probably going to take hundreds of hours to play, maybe only 200. We'll see. I started playing this with Rod and Joey and Camilla. And we played, 16 hours or something like that. We played a lot of hours, but we just don't have time to get together all the time. But I do have time to play this on my own. So I set this up in the corner of my game room, and I'm just going to play it on my own for a while. So there's a couple things I want you to know before we get into this. So what is this? This is just me recounting what happened this past week. In the game, I'll show you a few pictures, but mostly just me telling a story. 2, there's going to be spoilers. Spoilers. I'm spoiling everything. I don't care. Don't watch this. If you don't want to know anything about the game, don't watch it. I assume that mostly people who watch this will be people who played the game or people who are just kind of curious to see what happens in this game. 3, the chance of me making mistakes in this game is 100%. There is an 80-page rule book, more pages in each of the different cycles. I'm in cycle 1. So I made mistakes. If there's ever me erring, when I'm not sure, I always err in favor of myself because I'm the hero and I don't care. So just keep that in mind. All right. So I began my journey by picking 4 Argonauts, Penelope, Leoculus, Otis Zero, and Olympia. So those are the 4 different characters that I play with. So if you've never played this game before, and by the way, I skipped the tutorial because I've already played through the tutorial. So I just kind of started there as a way to skip the tutorial. It tells you what to do. Penelope in the past was in prison and she's trying to get over that. Otis Zero, Siren's Call, has to deal with that. So those are some things they have to deal with. So you wake up, you're on this gigantic ship, humongous ship, and you're the Argonauts. On this ship, the ship is the size of a city. So you're going to be exploring the ship. I've explored it a little bit as time has gone by, and we'll get to that. But so you go through the ship, it's huge, it's gigantic, and then you occasionally have to fight these massive creatures, these humongous creatures. And you jump into this goo type stuff, and then you control titans. And so at the beginning of the game, you start off with a fight straight out the gate, almost. Okay, first there's a little bit of story involved. So in this game, I ran into the Minoans. I landed on their island. So I remember from the last time we played this, we kind of were at odds with the Minoans, and we worked with some other people. And I decided to hornsworn or whatever. I haven't even run into them in this game yet. But I decided this time I was going to take a different tack from what we did as a group just to see what happened. You know what? Other than our initial encounter, nothing has been the same. So everything here is new. So we go to the main island there. We run into some guards. Guards get kind of antsy, but we tell them a joke. It calms them all down. And then Olympia finds out that, hey, she's actually from Minoa. She has Minoan heritage. So we'll see where that leads in the future. I see a group of kids and teenagers. We run into them, and that causes a lot of problems to the point where Leoculus, I'm just going to call him Leo from now on. Leo accidentally kills one of the kids. I mean, it's a fight. They're teenagers. They're coming at us. They're on drugs or tattoos or cults or something. So now he has a thing called blood on the hands. He has to, deal with that, which is really tough. This is not a good way to start this. We find out they're the Labyrinthians, so some sort of cult here. I guess they worship the Minotaur. I don't know. Not a great start, but then we jump into a fight with the Hecaton. Yay, the Hecaton. So the Hecaton is a giant creature. He's the first person you fight. He's one of the only 2 things I've ever fought in this game up till now. And he ranges from easy to hard. This battle was fine. I lost 2 Titans in there at the end, but we managed to kill him. And what was really cool is in this battle, we gained the shield blade. So I gave it to Leo. This is like a cool, unique item that we got for doing a critical hit. I'll tell you, critical hits in this game, I'm learning, are like the bee's knees. All right, so then we began our journey. So first, got some technology. I got rhetoric. I thought that was pretty neat. We found the Titan laying around who's slightly faster than the rest of the Titans. We named him Bob. Bob the Titan. And then I found more Titans. So this is kind of exciting. I also started learning some weird, there's some other tech we got. I got the arrow barrage. Man, the arrow barrage tech I find to be really useful when you're fighting. The Minoans, investigations tech. And then we run into the Labyrinthians again. So this is kind of a thing. I think that we're going to run into this. We're running into this cult. And I don't know that I like this idea, because every time we run into this cult, it seems like they're problematic. But, you know, it's one of those things where, like, is the cult saying the thing? Because the Minoans, and we took the Minoan guide with us. She came with us, and she's the princess or whatever. We're not, you know, I'm trying to be as friendly with her as possible, because I'm hoping that will lead somewhere good. And as time is going by in this voyage that we went on, our relationships with the Minoans is doing really well. So I'm really happy with that. But we find this labyrinth and this maze thing, and so we decide to run into it, which seems like a really dumb idea. And then Penelope becomes haunted because, you know, I don't know why, and she's maze touched, and this is like a mess. These people, we're trying to act like the good cops here in a sense of, or maybe the bad cops, I'm not sure, because every time we run a labyrinth, I'm like, no nonsense. They're the cult, they're bad. Because I'm trying to, and my reputation with the Minoans is doing okay. We got a couple other technologies, basic support equipment, but then we find this gigantic pile of dead people that the Hecaton ate. The Hecaton, I'm not even sure how it eats stuff. It has hands everywhere. One of the body parts you can fight in the Hecaton is called Knuckle Teeth. So I'm not really sure about that. But we find these people, we find this weird code. And actually, this has me excited. Excited a little bit in this game, because it shows these weird symbols, and it's like, this is what one of the symbols means. I now know what 0 means. Great. But I need to know 9 more digits. How long are they going to drag this out to figure out the rest of the code? I would love to know the whole code, but so far I only know 0. We also got an ancient shell. I don't know what that means. I mean, there's all kinds of materials, and for those watching, you might know that the way that I'm playing the game is I collect a lot of these resources. Whenever you fight the bag, I get resources. As you travel around the map, you get resources. And so I just save them all up. And then right before I get to a boss battle, I might buy some equipment. And I bought a decent amount of equipment. I bought a boat shield and a boat mace for one of my characters. And so we're ready to go. And then the Pursuer shows up. Now, this did not surprise me as much, because this had happened in the last game I played, but I still don't like it. It's this giant, ugly bird type thing, and it shows up on the map, and it's going to start following you, and if it catches you, you're having a fight with it. Well, you know what? In this game, I don't want no fights at all. So I'm going to try to stay away from this thing as fast as I can. Then we got Titan hunting technology, so that's kind of a useful thing to get. And we're just kind of going around and looking through the map. And as I'm playing through this, I'm using player after player to make sure I go through everything properly. So I'm finding equipment. My relationship with the Minoans seems to go up consistently. My relationship with the Labyrinthians is going down. It's actually in unfriendly territory. But everything feels like it's coming together. And then guess what? The Hecaton shows up again. Guys, sometimes in this, I often complain about games being hard. And the Hecaton is hard, but we beat the snot out of the Hecaton this time. I mean, having that shield blade definitely helped. I geared my people up. But you know what really helped? Lots of critical hits. I rolled really well. I was really surprised with how well this fight went. We didn't lose a single Titan. And so as you're playing this game, you have a limit of Titans. You have 10 Titans. And we are up to 10 Titans now. And that includes Bob. Now, I will say, I'm afraid to use Bob in combat. I haven't used him yet. And I know this goes against Vasel's law. Vasel's law says if you have something, use it because you save it and you'll never use it again. But I just don't want Bob to die. And he's not that special of a Titan. He's a little fast. That's about it. But I named him. The rule book says, hey, you can name anybody. You can name all your Titans if you want. I'm not doing that because of the loss I would feel as they died all the time. But this was a pretty good battle. We have resources, and now I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I'm not thrilled because the Pursuer is still chasing me. But other than that, there's not a whole lot. The story is it's still ambiguous. Basically, I'm learning the Minoans are in charge. They're kind of jerks. So people are rebelling against that. But the people who are rebelling, the Labyrinthians, are essentially a cult. There's the Hornsworn or whatever. I'm not even dealing with them. I'm moving north. And I was trying to stay in Minoan territory. But the Pursuer, because the Pursuer's chasing me, it kind of forces me out. I'm not sure I love the Pursuer aspect of this game, honestly. I really like Aeon Trespass, and as I go through, Aeon Trespass Odyssey. I like the game a lot, but there are problems with it. Obviously, the rules overhead is ridiculous. I set the board up on a different table when we have a combat, and I go over there, and I have to move over my characters. I'm keeping track on a sheet of paper, everything that's going on, which is just messy, and I have piles of cards everywhere, and I'm trying not to mess anything up. That rules overhead's big. It's also hard. The story, though, is awesome, and the paragraphs of story, me talking about them in this video, isn't really doing them justice. But as I play through this, there's also things like they're like, ha-ha, ha-ha, ha-ha. So I kind of need a bit of time to calm down and rest and relax. But the good news is the very next thing I'm going to do is a rest and relaxation adventure. So we'll see if that works out well for us. So we're going to be doing that soon in our next episode. But for now, everything's coming together. Playing it solo is good. The combat's pretty easy, except I have to move my head and say, okay, I'm not controlling that person, I'm controlling this person. And working together probably would work better with other people. But the story itself and moving all the text, that works better for me as I collect all the different technologies I need and go around and explore. Anyway, that's episode 1 of what happened to me in Aeon Trespass Odyssey. Let's hope next week we do as good as we did this week, because we started off pretty well.